So you mentioned recycling.
Hmm.
Some people don't give a shit about recycling.
Hmm.
How is recycling, how important of a factor is that play? Let's say everyone every week recycled, would that make a difference with anything, or is that just
Right now,
yeah,
like in our current system, oh, it wouldn't do shit
won't do shit?
because our recycling process is completely bullshit. Like the
Oh,
percentages that we recycle things actually like is so small because I mean, plastic recycling started off as a fallacy, started off as just a fraud by oil companies because they didn't want plastic bans. So in the 80s and 90s, they started hardcore campaigning, spent millions of dollars in advertisements to promote recycling, plastic recycling, because they were worried about single-use plastics being banned because there was a big uprising about the litter, the like trash and stuff like that.
hmm.
And so they knew when they started pushing for that advertisement, they already knew that plastic recycling was not going to be feasible in the long run
Yeah.
because economically it's too hard to sort redo it. Someone has to buy it in the first place for it to be remade, and then plastic just degrades after every recycle. So I mean, it's not an infinite loop of anything. So they knew that I wasn't going to be able to work at like efficient rates. So they hardcore started pushing it. And practically what they did with that is, and they put the burden on the consumer for plastic instead of the manufacturer. So they got off scot-free while instead they made it our problem that we had to recycle it. And recycling, only 12% of plastics that get recycled or that get thrown in a recycling bin get recycled.
Okay, because I've heard this. I mean, I thought that this was just a load of shit. I mean, I lived with a bunch of, okay, I'm not going to label them out, but they're anti-recycling people, and they would tell me, they'd be like, oh, my daddy told me that basically everything that you throw in the recycle bin is just going to be thrown right into the dumpster. I mean,
Oh yeah, I mean, I would say, depending on what it is, paper gets recycled. Paper and like cardboard and stuff gets recycled at a really good rate. That's probably the best one to recycle. Glass is very important because uh, glass is becoming a very finite resource right now, or like sand and stuff like that.
And
It's
just throw some
becoming,
sand in the furnace and
well, yeah, like there's different
crap.
types of sand,
That was a
yeah,
Minecraft joke.
but
Sorry.
it is becoming it is the second scarcest resource right now, I think, behind water.
Wow. I didn't know that actually.
Yeah.
About
So
glass.
glass is very important to recycle, and we still use it in single use forms that we shouldn't. Um, but glass recycling has some issues with toxicity and stuff with how it gets recycled. And there's some it doesn't get recycled at great rates either. But yeah, plastic
I always
recycling.
thought that recycling was like the end all be all, to be honest with you, until I heard.
That's what they make it out to be. And so it is definitely it is a conspiracy more than anything by
Well,
oil companies. But
take that, Dad.
but
Like out
yeah,
there.
plastic. So most of your, because that symbol you see. Okay, let me share my screen. Hold on, let me get a.
Boom.
So do you see the screen?
Yes. Yes,
Oh,
we see.
wow.
This is from this project I did for this class. I mean, it was my entire semester, and it was about how recycling was a fraud. But so this picture, these are the symbols that you see on a plastic device, single-use plastic, right? You see these symbols.
So it actually tells you like how much use you can get out of it? I didn't.
No, this is not. Has nothing to do with recycling.
Oh, okay. Okay.
This is just the sorting system for plastics.
Ah.
And so anti-plastic people have been like, or I forgot the organization, whatever that was called, but they were begging plastic companies. They said, stop putting the symbols in these triangle shapes that look like the chasing arrows because they aren't recyclable. It's just the sorting system in plastic. So I think 7 here can get plastic or can get recycled. Wait, let's see. Number 5 and number 1 are the most cycled. Yeah. So 5 is probably propylene, whatever, probably ethylene over here. And so those are, how do I stop screen share? I return to meeting.
So is this more of like just?
Wait, am I on the wrong screen?
I see the right.
No,
the
I see the I
answers.
see the numbers and stuff.
Okay.
All right, your
All right.
screen's not sharing anymore.
Well, so that's just the sorting system. So most of those so it sorts what type of plastic it is, and then how it can either get recycled or if it can get recycled at all. But they put it all like it is that symbol, like it can. And so only certain, recycling facilities can only do certain numbers at the same time. So there's a high chance you could be recycling like a 3, and the facility near your place can only does like 1 in 5. So then everything else just goes to landfill. And then a huge thing we do is we love to ship our recycling to other countries. And right now it's Indonesia. And it ends up all just in their villages. And it's disgusting, honestly. It's terrible what we do to these people. And practically instead of, us dealing with our own garbage, we just throw it into a third world country's backyard.
Sounds like America.
And when it comes to like the recycling process, like isn't it state by state too? Because I know my family that lives in New York, they have like a very strict recycling process where they have to they have to put in glasses and then plastics and this and that. But now it kind of just sounds like it doesn't even matter. They're just throwing all the shit away mostly.
Well, it definitely can vary from state to state, because some communities can definitely have better systems. They can be like, oh, you need to do this, so it makes it easier on our people. Because a lot of this stuff, it's based on the people at this facility. They could be like, God, I don't want to grind through this little patch. I'll just throw that in the landfill. Mm-hmm. And so it's just it's different. It's not a great system at all in any sort of the way. Like, we have to fix either what we're using, reducing how much we use is the only way to fix that issue, I believe, in my opinion. Reduction, and using reusable, like, instead of plastic bags, you bring that bag to go grocery shopping with, whatever. That is the better system.
My roommates for years made fun of me that I would have the plastic, like the Publix reusable bags. And I would always be like, yo, it's easy, and I don't have to deal with all these plastic bags. In my kitchen, there's like a thing that for a year and a half now, my roommates have just thrown the plastic bags. I literally easily have like 100 Publix plastic bags just sitting there. But
yeah, I would say me and Dimitri save our plastic bags too, and it honestly worked out okay, because when I broke my arm, I needed them to shower with.
Yeah.
For my cast, so it wasn't bad, but yeah.
Obviously, it's good to keep some, because you just need a plastic bag sometimes to throw some stuff in, and then you feel bad about the environment.
What